What's going on, fellow tryhards? It's Tom with Shark Gaming, bringing you back a brand new video and a brand new deck profile. So what I've been doing is I've been working on the Fire King structure deck, or Fire King Snake Eye build for a little bit now, and kind of figured out this is something I've been on the verge of working on and trying to tweak and tune a little bit more since the first video. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. One of the first things that I kind of looked into was the Super Poly package along with the Snake Eye stuff. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into some of the deck here. So we'll go ahead and move the extra and the side and stuff over to the side, and we'll go ahead and get into it. So first things first, I like to get into is the Bellstar package. So the Snake Eye stuff. I'm still on the 1 Ash, 1 Birch. I'm also on a Kurikara now. So Kurikara is one of those cards that I've thought about siding, just having one on the side, but your Snake Eye Ash specifically is able to search your Kurikara. So I think it's just really important to have if you're going second. Just one of the going second cards in the main board that I like to run. As for the other monsters in the package, I run 1 Flame Burge and 1 Kurikara. Or not Kurikara, excuse me, 1 Bellstar. Bellstar, of course, is like your main one to go into. If you just open with this and a discard, which you usually will, it's just really good to have. Or if you open up Wanted, you're just able to search out that card and then just go full combo as normal. So that's the monsters for the Snake Eye package. You could probably cut Kurikara or side it, but I like having it just to be safe, because there's a lot of things that are coming up here in the meta that you're probably going to need that for. As for the spells, we run the 1 original and the 3 wanted. This is just kind of stock and standard at this point. I really enjoy this. I think 1-3 is very comfortable. If you're worried about DD Crow, then you probably want to run 2 Bellstar instead of 1. But I like the 3-1 as of right now. And that's pretty much it for the Bellstar package, or the Snake Eye package. The next thing that I kind of want to go over is the just the regular Fire King stuff. So let's go ahead and go to the spells. We run 2 Sanctuary, 2 Island, and a Skyburn. I like running the 2-2-1. I think it's just a little bit more compact. I do run a 42 card build. I don't knock running 40, but it's really the last 2 card slots is talents, just more utility. Even though this deck can run a lot of hand traps, I just kind of like having the extra bits. So for that's the spells. Let's go ahead and get into the monsters here. Of course, we run the 1 Barong. I don't really run Ring Bali, but I'd probably do 1-1 right now with Ring Bali and Barong. Ring Bali is just going to come up quite a bit, and it might even be worth siding eventually. 2 Garunix, this is your big fire chicken. Of course, you will absolutely need this card. It is just absolutely crazy. Good to have. 3 Baby Fire Chicken, really good to have as well. Again, it searches out your Sanctuary. Sanctuary goes into your island, and then you're just able to continue on and just pop cards on field or in hand and just continue rattling off. And then we have your 3 monster negate, being 3 Arvada. Arvada is just a generic monster negate that is just really helpful to have, really handy. Again, you can run this 3-1 with Ring Bali. Ring Bali is your spell trap negate, and I think it's just good to have a lot of those on hand. Next up, we have the last Fire King monster, being Kirin. Kirin is probably the best card, if not one of the best cards in the deck. Kirin just does a whole lot. It pops a card on field or in hand, specials itself, and then when it's popped, you can bring out another one, and then non-target pop card on field. So having Kirin is, I think, a mandatory and a must in this deck. And if you're not running 3, I would recommend running 3. So that's the Fire King engine pretty much, and then we have your generic hand trap stuff. So what we have is your 3 Imperm. I like Imperm right now. I think it's solid hand trap. 3 Ash, which again, these are your 2 most common hand traps. that you will see. I really like those. I think they're going to be good in any sort of matchup against anything. They're going to be some form of disruption. So good to have. Then your next hand trap that you have here is Droll and Lockbird. Now, why do I run 3 Droll? Well, as of right now, Droll is probably one of the best and most impactful hand traps in the game. So I like to run 3 main board instead of running Nibiru, which I do side Nibiru for going second, but I think Droll is definitely going to be one of your main cards that you will see main boarded in the upcoming format. So those are pretty much the hand traps that I run. And here's the next part I have is the utility, the generic utility. I run 3 Pot of Prosperity. I don't like seeing it more than one in my hand if I open it, because this deck really revolves around your extra deck, because you kind of need it, but I think you have a lot of, with the whole Garunix and Kieran line that you can do, and just you pop somebody in the battle phase and just kind of lock them. I mean, I think it's important to have and see this card as well, even though I don't really, again, I don't like seeing multiples of it. I don't think anybody wants to see more than 1 pot in their hand. So that's that. And then the 2 that I was mentioning earlier, the 2 talents, I think this card is extremely important to see and to have, especially with everybody playing on each other's turn. I think this card's insane. If I had more normal spells and traps in the deck, I would probably run 1/1, 1 thrust, 1 talent, but this deck really has more quick effects than anything else, or quick plays, so I think just 2 talents will do the job for this. And then to kind of finish it all off, the last 3 cards for the 42 is 3 Super Poly. This card is just absolutely cracked, right? I mean, there's the one deck that would really counter this card got hit on the list, which would be Infernoble with the Angelic Ring. Now that it's not really going to be a problem with the Soul gone, at least I don't think it will be. I think this card is going to be more impactful than ever, because if you get into a mirror match, you're just able to Super Poly off your entire board, go into a Mud Dragon or Garura. Or if you're playing Vanadium and you run Draco Equeast, which that's another card I'd like to run in this build. I mean, this is just great to have. It's really important to have. But that is the main board. So let's go ahead and get into our extra deck. So for our extra deck here, we have our little D, of course, as our token stack. So just kind of run a bunch of just placeholders there. I never bring these to tournaments though. I do have tokens on standby, but I never usually put those on top or anything. I try to get out of the habit of that. But here we're gonna go ahead and get into the XYZs. So this is a very link heavy deck from what I was working on. It's a lot more link heavy than it was. I had like 5 XYZs prior to, because I was worried about a time card, but I just made slots for it in the side deck. So I've kind of changed up a few things again. So we'll kind of get into that here in a little bit. But I really only run 2 XYZ monsters. I run Garunix, just a generic board wipe if you need it, and a good spell trap pop. And I also run your Typhon. Typhon is just insane. It's just really good to have. It shuts off anything 3K or higher, so it just shuts off a lot of abilities, and I think it's really important to have. Next, we're going to kind of go over the some of the other links that I run here. So I run quite a few. I think, let's see, there's 10 links in this deck, so quite a few. We got, first and foremost, we got Link Karibo, because you can link your ones off into this. I've got your IP. You can do a lot of crazy plays during your opponent's turn. Got your SP Little Knight. Again, really generic card, really good. Since the last video, I've actually got a Sunlight Wolf in the deck now. I think you have to run this card in this deck, where it's just two fire monsters. It's really 2 fire effect monsters. It's really easy to make. So super important. And then I have the small, well, not small package, but I've got the Spellcaster Access Code Celine line. The two channelers are the Charmers and Celine and an access code. Just really good if you're trying to OTK somebody during your turn. Super important, I think. And then for your last little bit here, we just have a Apo and an Underworld Goddess. If you're going first, you're probably not going to go into access code. So if you just go IP and Sunlight Wolf pass and then recycle your Flamebirds, you're able to get Appaloosa out and just be able to sit on a format or 3 or 4 mat Apo and just call it a day. So whenever you have a 3 mat Apo, you're just able to sit on that, and then Sunlight Wolf will let you recycle after you link summon. It'll let you recycle your Flameburst Dragon back to your hand. Again, recycling the whole process of getting your getting 2 level 1 fire monsters on the field to then either link off again or to try to extend from there. So those are all the links. I really like the package. I don't run Relinquished Anima. I've thought about putting it back in, but I don't know where the room would be. If I did, I'd probably cut Underworld Goddess. That's another card I forgot to mention. This card's actually going to be, I think it's really good right now as well. Underworld Goddess has the, you can use IP as well. So if you have IP, you can link off your monsters again. If your opponent makes a tower, be like, okay, IP effect, link off Noir, and go into Underworld Goddess. I think that's just going to be really important upcoming, because there's going to be a lot of big towers that are unaffected coming up here in Phantom Nightmare format. So last 3 cards are your super poly targets. We have your Dragostapelia, just generic. It's really good against your fusion decks. Takes 1 fusion and 1 dark monster. I don't know of a single deck now that doesn't really have a whole lot of dark monsters. Even if you're playing this deck, if you pull out dark, you're still going to be able to get a dark monster on field. So I think that it's going to be kind of important as well. Garura, just generic again, just super generic to have. Really good against Fire King. Really good against a lot of your just big synergy decks that have multiple of the same type and attribute. So, and it's a good draw card, so I think that's probably one of the best super poly targets in the game. And then your most generic one, you have your Muddy Buddy, your Mud Dragon of the Swamp. I think that card is just, it's funny to be like, I have these 2 big 3K beaters on field, super poly. I'm gonna make them into a 1900 Muddy Buddy. So I enjoy this extra deck right now. It is subject to change a little bit, but I think this is probably what I'm gonna go with here. Here in the upcoming format. I really like it. And now, with that being said, we can go ahead and jump into the side deck. So what we have here in the side, again, it's about to be a Labyrinth format, so what we're going to do is we're going to run 2 Lightning Storm and a Duster. I think this is the optimal way to do it right now. You can run Cosmics, but I think this is going to be your best bang for your buck. Cosmics are going to be good against the mirror match, however, because if you banish a card, if you banish the field spell against Fire King, then it really doesn't. They can't use their fields, or they can't use a Sanctuary effect to block it or to kind of save it. It has to be a pop to save it with the Sanctuary. So with that being said, that's going to be one of the other. That's going to be the main reason why you're going to want to run these. Next spell that we run is we run 3 Mind Control. Now that this card is at 3. I'm definitely going to try to run it at 3. I think going second, this card is going to be really good. It's going to be insane to have, just to be able to steal your opponent's monster and then immediately link it away. I think it's going to be really, really handy to have, especially in this deck where it's kind of lower. It's a little bit lower to the ground than most, but I think if you're going to be able to keep linking stuff off, this is going to be really handy to have. And just be able to get another body on board just in case you can't get one. So if they get rid of your Garunix or something, you're just able to snatch, steal a monster, call it a day. Next up, we have your hand traps. We have your 3 DD Crow. I think this is just really good to have currently against a lot of the cards, or a lot of the decks in the meta. I think being able to DD Crow stuff out of your opponent's graveyard, whether you're playing Rescue Ace or Fire King or any of the other ones, if Tyr decides to stick around, or if you're playing against a Horus deck, DD Crow is an absolute must in this next format. And up next we have, we'll actually go with those last. We have 3 Nibiru, which I mentioned earlier. I think it's just a really good generic hand trap. A lot of people kind of disregard it sometimes, so I like running 3 of those as well. just as a generic 3 of. And then last but not least, since I don't have a time card inside or the extra deck or the main deck, I like to run Ghost Sister Spooky Dogwood, or again, as I call it, Wookie Spogbid. I think it's just one of the better time cards. You can run Moonlit Chill instead, but I like this card because you gain life, and it kind of just, it's again one of those cards like, oh, well, I'm gonna special summon this. Okay, well, I'm gonna go Sister Spooky Dogwood. I'm going to gain X amount of life. So that's pretty much the build as of right now. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into some of the combo guides. Alright, so let's get into some of the combos. So our first combo is going to be like a 1.5 card combo, as I like to call it. You're going to open up with your Wanted, and you're going to open up with any blank card in your hand that you either want to have in the graveyard or that you just kind of want to have there. So what you'll do is you'll start off with your Wanted. Wanted will allow you to search your Diabell Star, add it to hand. This will go to grave. You can inherent summon your Diabell Star from your hand, pitching your card that you have in hand, whether it be anything. Let's say it's another Wanted. So you can pitch it like that, and then activate the effect of Diabell Star to set your original Simple Spoils, and then activate it, sacking off Diabell Star to special summon your Snake Eye Ash. And then Snake Eye Ash will allow you to search for any level 1 fire monster in your deck. And what you will do from here is you will add your Ponix. And then, since you haven't normal summoned this turn yet, you'll be able to normal summon your Ponix, and then Ponix effect to add. You'll add your Sanctuary. Sanctuary effect will let you automatically place your field spell. And after you place your field spell, you will be able to, do your regular combo. So at this point, you are able to pop your Ponix, and then go grab a Garunix here. What am I doing? I have it right here. And then Garunix effect will let you special it out. And then at this point, this is where you pop your Barong. And after you pop Barong, you are able to search during your opponent's standby phase for a Kieran, if you so choose to. It's usually going to be Kieran 9 times out of 10, just because it's one of your best cards. Again, if not the best Fire King card in the deck. And at this point, you can use Snake Eye Ash effect to go ahead and pitch both of these. And after you pitch both, you are able to bring out, go through your slew here, and bring out your, no, excuse me, you bring out your, what am I thinking? You use Ash effect to bring out Flameburge, lordy. And then again, you can, if your opponent hand traps you during this, at any point you're able to use this card's effect to pitch a card, or put a card in their continuous spell or trap card zone, just to kind of lock a zone. If you're playing against a Pendulum deck, that really kind of messes with them a little bit. If you just put a regular monster in the Pendulum zone, kind of shuts them off right off the rip. So then at this point, you can link these two off, and then go into your Sunlight Wolf. And when you go into your Sunlight Wolf, your Flameburst Dragon will have its effect to where it special summons 2 level 1 fires from the graveyard, which we indeed have that. We're going to bring back Ash, and we're going to bring back our Ponix. And since we have these two, Sunlight Wolf will trigger, and we will get to add back our Flameburst back to hand. And Flameburst will allow us to have follow-up during our opponent's turn. So before we even end our turn, we're going to link these two off because we just brought them right back. And we will go ahead and go into our IP Masquerena. So as of right now, we have full setup, and during our opponent's turn, we're going to use Barong to add our Kieran. And then once we do that, the moment that they try to do anything, we're going to be able to do Kieran effect to pop Flameburge in our hand and special. And then we'll have several different triggers here. We'll have Flameburge effect as a chain, and Garunix as an effect to special himself. So we will be able to special summon back both Ash and Ponix, and then we will be able to bring out Garunix. So with this, what we're able to do is we're able to have a gigantic chain link here. We go chain link 1 Ponix, chain link 2 Ash, chain link 3 Garunix. And since we have this, we're able to pop another card, and special another card if we so choose to. And then if we wanted to add on top of that, we can IP mask away something that they have on field. So this is really more explosive than what I was playing with before. And this deck I think is going to do a lot of really crazy things. So at this point you could do an Appaloosa here. You can go IP Masquerena, link off any of the other stuff. So you could do Snake Eye Ash and any of that. And even with Snake Eye Ash, if we're going, so let's go ahead and go back here where we have Ash as a chain link and we have Ponix. Ponix will let you re-add your, wrong one. Ponix will let you add an, well yeah, Ponix will let you add Sanctuary. So we'll go ahead and grab another Sanctuary here. Ash will let you add a level 1 fire monster. So at this point what we could do is we could add our Kurikara to hand for follow-up, just in case our opponent does do something on our turn. And then Grunix will let us pop a card. We can pop our Vada if we so choose once again, or we could pop Kieran to bring something out. So no matter what, you have your options here. You can go Kieran or Arvada, and then on that same chain you can go ahead and link off some of this stuff just to kind of clean up your board so you have a little bit more. And then whenever you start a new chain, you can go Sunlight Wolf after you link into Appo with these three, or if they have something on field, you can go into the White Woman Jump Scare here. And again, you can either go into this or Appaloosa and just have monster negates, so you have a new chain after all of this. If you send a Kieran or an Arvada, does not matter. You can just go Chainlink 1, Sunlight Wolf to add back, and then Chainlink to Kieran to bring back a monster from your grave that is a Fire King monster. So you can bring back Ponix again, or you can bring back whatever, and now you have an unaffected Appaloosa, you have a Sunlight Wolf, and you have a way to go into a rank 8 if you so choose to. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into some of the other combos that this deck can do. Alright, so let's get into one of the 2.5 card combos that I like to do. It's pretty much the same thing, but with a little bit more interaction, I suppose. You're still going to start with your Wanted or a Witch, and you're going to start with Kieran this time. So these are like your two main important cards. So again, if you open up this, it's like your 2.5 card combo. And then this is just a blank card you can use for a discard. So what you're going to immediately do in the draw phase, again, you always want to do this in the draw unless you have a Talents in hand. So if you have a Talents in hand, then you want to wait and hold that to the main phase. But because immediately when they do that, they're going to be like, okay, Ash or Droll. And then the moment you do that, you go, okay, let me see your hand. So you're just able to kind of rip one from hand right off the bat and still somewhat play. So, but again, take that as you will. I would usually do Wanted in the draw phase just to be safe. So your Wanted will let you search for your Diabell Star. So after you search your Diabell Star, you'll go ahead and go into your main phase. You will again, go ahead and move this. You'll go ahead and use your Diabell Star, pitching your blank card, whether it be another Wanted. Then at this point, you're going to set your original Simple Spoil once again, and then you will activate your card once again, sending your Black Witch, and then you will grab your Ash. Ash will let you search Ponix, and Ponix, you will normal summon your Ponix here. Ponix will let you search your Sanctuary, and then I'll go ahead and set that in grave. We'll go Sanctuary. Sanctuary will set you your field spell, of course. So for those who don't know, your field spell does, if you control no monsters, it lets you pop a card in your hand, or excuse me, if you don't control any monsters and you have a Winged Beast in hand, you can special that Winged Beast. And then during your main phase, if you control anything, or if you control nothing at all, you can do either one. You can pop a monster in hand, and then search for a Fire King and add it to hand. So really good to have as well. So at this point, where we've already used Ponix, we can go into our Fire King Island effect to grab our Garunix, and then pop our Ponix, and then Garunix effect will trigger. Garunix special, and we will pop one at this point. At this point, we don't have to pop our Barong. We can pop our Arvada instead to bring back out our little baby fire chicken and be able to continue play. So at this point, what we can do is we can link off, or we can actually go into our Flameburst Dragon here using Ponix and Ponix and Ash, words, and of course bring him back out and do the combo as we did before. Link off your link off your Flameburst and your Garunix, and grab your Sunlight Wolf. And then after you use Sunlight Wolf, you will have a new chain with Flameburst to bring back out 2 more. So you bring back out your Ponix and your Ash. And then at this point you can use, you can link these 2 off again to go into your IP play and just kind of continue on. So you'll go ahead and link those 2 off once again and go into our IP. And where we linked into IP, Sunlight Wolf will trigger. We will be able to add back our Flameburst once again. And since we have Kieran in hand, we really don't have to worry about adding it off of Barong. So at this point, we can use the effect once again during our opponent's turn to use Kieran, pop our Flameburst Dragon, and then Flameburst Dragon effect as Chain Link 1 and Garunix Chain Link 2 to special itself. So we can bring back both of these as well as bring back our Garunix. So once we do this, again, we'll have a long chain link. We'll have Chain Link 1 Ponix, Chain Link 2 Ash, and Chain Link 3 Garunix to be able to bring back, to pop a card from deck. And if we so choose, we can use IP effect again if your opponent has something on field that you want to link off with, or if there's something that you just want to immediately get rid of. You can use IP to go into what I call White Woman Jump Scare or Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. You can use any of that. And now that we actually have Sanctuary, we can actually use our quick effect XYZ during our opponent's turn as well. So this combo leaves you with a little bit more. It leaves you Sanctuary on the field as a good good protection as well for Fire King Island. And with whatever we make with IP, kind of leaves that monster, gives our monster a little bit of a barrier. So, and again, at this point we can go into our Underworld Goddess. We can go into our Appaloosa. Just anything we need at that current point in time. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into a couple more combos and do a couple test hands. All right. So the last combo I kind of want to go over is, if you open up your Black Witch, you open up your Sanctuary, and you open up a discard, which you're going to open up a 5-card hand. This could be anything, really, if you wanted to try to get something to the graveyard. This is just going to be another way that you're going to be able to, without pitching or without having to get rid of your Sanctuary, you're going to be able to set up a Skyburn as well on top of everything that we went over earlier. So with this combo, what we're going to do is we're going to immediately crack off our Diabellstar and pitch, let's say it's a wanted. I'll go ahead and pitch that. So Diabellstar will let us set our original Sinful Spoil. We'll activate that, pitching our Diabellstar to go into our Snake Eye Ash. And then Ash will trigger. We will go ahead and add our Fire Chicken to hand. And after we do so, we can go ahead and normal summon our Fire Chicken here. And Fire Chicken, or Ponix, is going to be able to search out our Skyburn. So, since we already have Sanctuary in hand, we will go ahead and activate our Sanctuary. Sanctuary will set us our field spell. And from here, we could do one of 2 different things here. We could go ahead and send our Ash and our Sanctuary, or we could actually, before we do anything else, we want to go ahead and use our island to go ahead and pop our Ponix. So we will pop Ponix to grab our Garunix here. Wrong one. We will grab Garunix. Garunix will trigger. and then we will pop a, instead of doing that, popping a Barong here, we'll pop a Kirin, and then Kirin will trigger, and we will bring back our Ponix. So at this point we have a Ponix, an Ash, and a Garunix here. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to go ahead and do our combo as we did before. We'll go ahead and use our Snake Eye Ash effect, sending it and our Ponix to graveyard. Or we could even use Garunix there because you kind of want Garunix in graveyard. But we're going to go ahead and send those two to go into our Flameburge. And again, we can use Flameburge Dragon if we get interrupted in any way, shape, or form to put one in their back row. And then at this point, we can go ahead and link off our Garunix and our Flameburge to go into our Sunlight Wolf. And we will have a new trigger at this point. We will have Flameburge effect to bring out 2 level 1 fires. Again, we will bring out our Ash and our Ponix. And then at this point, we can go ahead and get rid of these two to go into our IP, and then we can go Sunlight Wolf effect, and instead of grabbing our Flameburge Dragon here, we can grab a Kirin, we can grab a Ponix, or we can grab our Flameburge, which again, if you're wanting to go ahead and like reset the board, you kind of go ahead and grab our Snake Eye Flameburge Dragon. And then we could set our Skyburn at this point, and then we'll have our Flameburge in hand to do whatever we so choose. Okay, so the last combo I kind of want to go over is like a 3.5 card combo. This is going to be something you rarely see. Your Diabell Star here could either be a wanted or a Diabell Star. So again, we'll have that as like a discard, or wanted as a discard if we see both. But this is going to give you a pretty much bulletproof board for going into your opponent's turn. You're going to have the same board, if not better, because you start with a Sanctuary now. So you're able to recycle a lot of the stuff that you used in the prior combo, but you're also not going to have to get rid of Sanctuary to kind of protect your Fire King Island if you so need to. So again, we're going to go ahead and go into our main, go ahead and inherent summon our Diabell Star, discarding a card, and then we're going to grab our original Sinful Spoil, and then we will activate said Sinful Spoil, pitching our Diabell Star to grab our Snake Eye Ash. And then Snake Eye Ash will trigger, and we will be able to grab our Ponix here. And since we have not normaled, we do our combo as normal. So we will normal summon our Ponix effect to grab. Instead of grabbing a Fire King Sanctuary that we already have in our hand, we will grab our Skyburn, since we've already got Sanctuary in hand. And then we can activate our Sanctuary effect to set, or to place, our Fire King Island. And now at this point, we can go Fire King Island effect to pop one of our cards. And then we're going to pop our Ponix to grab our Garunix. And then Garunix will trigger. We will be able to special our Garunix, and then Garunix effect to pop any card in our hand, field, or deck. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and pop we'll go ahead and pop our Barong here, just to have another. Actually, we won't have to pop our Barong. We'll pop our Arvada here, my bad. And Arvada will be able to trigger, bringing back out our Ponix, because we already have Kirin in hand. We don't need to search for it at this point. And then we can use Ash effect, sending these two, both Ponix and Ash, to go into our Snake Eye. And then again, I've mentioned this prior too, if we already have if the hand trap is during our turn, or if we have anything like that, we can go ahead and use its effect to put something in their back row. So it makes it a little bit easier. And then at this point, we're going to go ahead and link off these two because they're both fires, and we will go into our Sunlight Wolf. And then Sunlight Wolf won't do anything as of right now until we use Snake Eye or Flameburst Dragon's effect to bring back 2 level 1 fire monsters, which we shall do. And now Flameburst will trigger. We'll add this back to our hand. So now we have Kieran, Skyburn, and Kieran, Flameburst, and Skyburn all in our hand at the same time. And we have 2 level 1s. So what we're going to do is we're going to link off the same 2 level 1s that we've been linking off to go into IP, and of course go into our IP. So same board, but your hand is going to be much stronger here. You're going to be able to set your Skyburn and then pass here. And then whenever your opponent starts getting established, you're going to be able to go Kieran effect, pop our Flameburst in hand, special out our Kieran, and then you have a slew of effects in the graveyard that is going to activate. You're going to be able to go Flameburst 1, Garunix 2, and you're going to be able to bring out your Garunix and then bring out your 2 level 1s, being Ponix and Ash. So again, whenever these come out, you're going to be able to go Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, Chainlink 3. You're going to be able to go Ash to add a level 1 fire monster, which again, I run, one of the main reasons why I run Kurikara in the deck is if you're playing first, you have this card. If they find a way to break your board and they don't, if you chain block that, you're going to be able to add this to your hand and have some sort of follow-up if they break your board. So this is going to be extremely important to have. And then Ponix will let you add any of the spells, so you can add follow-up or kind of insurance with the Sanctuary, again, to give yourself a little bit more of an advantage here. And then Garunix will pop a card, being anything. It could be a Barong, it could be anything. And then you kind of want to chain IP, because at this point you guys can see the board is really full right now. You're going to want to go ahead and IP, but before you even do that, you're going to want to make sure your opponent commits to something, and then just kind of go in from there. I know you now have a Skyburn as well, so since you have this set up right here, if they do anything, you can flip Skyburn, start popping your own stuff, and then pop their entire field if so need be. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into some of the test hands that we got. All right, so let's go ahead and get a couple test hands going. We'll go ahead and shuffle up a little bit and go ahead and get into it, guys. If you've been here for the full video so far, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Again, we're almost to 100 subs. We're at 91. I've been doing really good so far, so I'm really thankful for you guys again being out there and being able to enjoy the content that you are watching. Again, if there's anything that you don't like, or if there's anything that you want to see, please let me know. I'm more than welcome. I'm more than open to having some new people come in and give me some new ideas. So let's go ahead and do a quick cut here. After I think we've done enough shuffling here, do a quick cut and then do a test hand of 5 here. So in our hand we have Ash, Super Poly, Sanctuary, a double, and an Imperm. Okay, so with this hand we have a couple options. We kind of don't want to see Ash here. This is one of our one-ups that we really kind of don't want to see, but what we usually start out with here is we will go ahead and go into our Sanctuary effect, and we will set our Fire King Island, which is our field spell, and from here we'll probably end up having to pop our Snake Eye Ash here. Actually, maybe not, because we can go normal summon Ash effect to go ahead and grab our level 1 fire, being our Ponix. And then after we grab our Ponix, we can go ahead and go Fire King Island to pop our Ponix. Then Ponix effect to grab our Garunix. And then since we've done that, we can go Garunix effect to special. And then usually here we will go ahead and pop Barong just kind of as a blind going first thing. That's usually the best option. Or if we really wanted to kind of extend and get the IP Sunlight Wolf co-link board, or the linked board, then we'll probably do something else instead. We'll go ahead and probably go Arvada if we do that. So we'll go ahead, since we don't have a Kieran, we will go ahead and pop our Barong whenever I find it. Here it is, top card. And then since we have our Snake Eye Ash on the field, we can go ahead and If you want to, you can get rid of the Sanctuary. Again, I'm not really comfortable doing that, but we do need the other body on board to get into our IP. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Snake Eye Ash effect, pitching both Sanctuary and Snake Eye Ash to grab our Flameburst Dragon. And then again, if we get hand trapped, same thing as usual. We can go ahead and put something in the back row, just kind of make it a little bit easier, and to give them a little bit, kind of quasi-lock a zone there for them. So, and then at this point, we can go ahead and link these two off to go into our Sunlight Wolf. And then on a new chain, we'll be able to go Flameburst Dragon to bring back out 2 level 1 fires. We'll bring back out our Ash and our Ponix. And then we will be able to link these two off to go into our IP. And we will have pretty much the same board that we had before, along with a set Super Poly and an Imperm to just kind of be able to fuse their board off, or to be able to have a quick way to negate something on the field. Also, I forgot to mention, where we did link into a spot that Sunlight Wolf points to, we were able to grab our Flameburst back to hand. And at this point, again, we are able to, during our standby where we pop Barong, we're going to be able to add our Kier in the hand. So we now have the full hand that we really want. And at this point, we're going to be able to have Kieran follow up to be able to pop Flameburst and then just set up a whole nother board. Flameburst is going to allow us to search, or to pitch or special 2 level 1 fires from grave, being Ponix and Ash, and just be able to continue to extend and extend and extend. So having all this set up is really good just for our first test hand. So let's go ahead and get into another one. Alright, so let's do one more test hand and call it a day, shall we? So actually, let's go ahead and cut. So just make sure I'm being, honest here. Make sure you guys know that I'm not kind of BSing here. We'll go ahead and do another overhand shuffle or 2 and do another cut here. See what we got. So we'll go ahead and do another test hand. This hand we have Ash, Imperm, Super Poly, Ash, and Wanted. So luckily, we did see one of the cards that we absolutely need for our one card combo here, and we're gonna go ahead and crack off our Wanted. Wanted will let us search for a Diabell Star, so we will go ahead and grab our 1 Witch if we can. Oh, there we go. And grab our 1 Witch here, and then proceed to the main phase. And then we will go ahead and go Diabell Star, pitching Ash, and then we'll be able to go Diabell Star effect to set our 1 card combo. And we will go our Sinful Spoil Snake Eye here, the original one. And from here, we will be able to activate it, pitching Diabell Star to grab our Snake Eye Ash. And then Ash is going to get us into our Ponix. And then we will be able to normal summon our Ponix effect to search for our Sanctuary. And then Sanctuary to go ahead and place our Fire King Island. Again, all these combos are if you go in uninterrupted. If you go interrupted, it can change a little bit, so kind of keep that in mind. And now that we have Fire King Island, we'll go ahead and use Fire King Island if we want to. We can leave Ponix on field, but we're going to want to pop Ponix here and then grab our Garunix from deck. So we will go ahead and grab our Giant Fire Chicken. And at this point, we're going to be able to use our Garunix as usual. Garunix will special, Garunix will also trigger, and we can use our, we can pitch our Barong here. Now again, if you wanted to do another way of, without getting rid of your Sanctuary, you'll probably want to hit a Arvada here to bring back out your Ponix, even though you won't be able to add it back after you Monster Reborn it. But it's very important to have, if you wanted to kind of have that. But this is just the line that I like to use. So we'll go ahead and pop Barong because we do want Kieran during our opponent's turn. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and again use Ash Effect to send Sanctuary in itself to bring out our Flameburst Dragon. When I can find it, there it is. And then use his effect if we so choose to. But right now what we're going to do is we're going to use both of these fires to go into our Sunlight Wolf. And then on a new chain we're going to be able to do Flameburst Dragon effect to bring back our Snake Eye Ash and our Ponix. And then Sunlight Wolf will trigger where we have summoned a monster to a zone it points to. We're able to re-add our Flameburst Dragon back to hand. And then we can do what we did before. We can link these two off, go into our IP Masquerena, and then we have two different cards we could set. We could set our Super Poly and our Imperm here, and now we're left with an Ash, a Flameburst Dragon, and then during our standby phase, during our opponent's standby phase, we can add our Kieran. So again, we are able to go through everything that we need to pretty much get what we need out there. So during our opponent's turn, we'll probably go ahead and crack off Super Poly whenever they commit to their first normal or to a monster that we so choose that we can fuse off with. So we can go ahead and do something to that extent, and it just makes it way easier to go ahead and just disrupt our opponent, because then we can use the monster that we make off of a Super Poly to then link off with IP into another monster. But guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you like the combo tutorial so far. I'm going to be working on a few other things this week. New episode of Crooked Cook is going to be coming out probably Friday of this week. So really look forward to this. So I'm getting this video out to kind of show you guys some of the combos that I've been cooking with. But guys, as usual, try hard, try hard. We'll see you next time. See you guys.